Morning. Okay, it's great to see you now.
Good morning, Greg.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Oh, pretty good.
Good.
Wait to see if everyone else jumps in here. Hit or miss sometimes. Sometimes we have a lot, sometimes we have a few. There's no telling.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be at 9. And I saw somebody commented on the WhatsApp.
Right. Yep, always at 10.
Yeah.
Do you have your, did you book your onboarding meeting yet?
Yeah, it's for the 28th.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't know whose iPhone that is, so is that Ashley? Not sure. All right, it's 10:05. We're gonna go ahead and get rolling with this. Estefany, since you're here, you were here first. Basically, all I have you guys do in this is tell me a little bit about what you've got going on or what happened last week, and then what you have planned for this week. What if you have any leads you're working on, any buyers or sellers you're currently working with, what they're looking for, what's coming up, and just what are some of your current struggles. And then I help answer any and all of those types of concerns and questions at this time. So Estefany, you can kick it off, and just since you're first one, here we go.
So no leads yet, but I did the KB Core training, and I've been like trying everything out and getting familiar with it. And now I'm finishing the university training. And I also been looking to start ordering my materials, like my business cards and things like that.
All right, so you don't want to do that until we have met for your onboarding. So if we
Okay.
can try to find a way to move that up, we can. You just need to send me an email, and I can try to work my schedule around what might work better for you.
Yeah, that would be great.
Because we definitely need to have a few things in order before you start ordering business cards and flyers and for sale signs. And I don't recommend you buy for sale signs until you need them.
Yeah.
Just not necessary to spend the $50 a piece on them until you're ready to actually put a stake in the ground.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. Because that's almost 3 weeks away. I don't want you to have to wait that long to order business cards. We need to get the ball rolling. So
yeah.
Shoot me an email, my assistant, Lovely, and I will try to work something around for you to get you in here sooner.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
If we need to do an evening, I can do that too. Just let me know what evening would work best for you.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, Ashley, what you got going on? You're muted. You're muted, Ashley.
Can you hear me, Greg?
We're good.
Okay. Right now, I've just been working on seller leads, trying to convert the sellers I'm dealing with into a listing. And honestly, I've been like kind of unmotivated. I be in and out. So I've been trying to get back on track, honestly, Greg, and
Okay.
work on more marketing and stuff. So yeah.
Okay. Where are you getting the seller leads from that you're trying to convert to listings?
It's honestly Zillow, and then I do like I'm a mobile notary, so I talk to sellers who like, okay, I want to sell, but if I sell, I don't know where I'm gonna go because the market's so high, and I don't know how to like counter to that, like. So
There isn't a good one.
Huh?
Unfortunately, there is not a good counter to that, because it's just the damn truth.
Yeah.
I don't know, Bryce, you've had any luck, or Caitlin, you've had any luck with that, but it is just the damn truth that I mean, we met with some really good friends yesterday. They've got a ton of equity in their house, and they just had their second kid, and I was like, so is your house even big enough for all of you? Because they have 3 dogs, and it's just like, they're like, no, well, we have nowhere to go because the prices are so inflated to buy something else. So,
Oh my God. So yeah, I've been dealing with a lot of sellers that want to sell, but that's the case. And it's like, I don't know what to say. And the only thing I can talk about is interest rates are low. So yeah, the market's high, price rise, but with the interest rates being low, your monthly payments will probably be lower now than they are, when you bought your.
that's one for sure. The second thing is, honestly, in reality, the prices aren't going down anytime soon. So like, the price seems high, quote unquote, high right now, but in a year from now, and 2 years from now, and 3 years from now, it's going to look way different. Like a house that's $300,000 today is going to be $400,000 probably by next year.
Oh my God.
And then it's going to be 450, or, you know what I mean? It's going to be astronomically higher 12 months from now. So yeah, that may be the case, but the market's ridiculous right now. And unless this supply chain stuff is real and we just can't figure this out and inflation keeps going up and we have that problem, we will not have any sort of correction. Now, are they trying to do something? I don't trust our government at this point to do anything correct. But no, I'm dead serious, and that's not a political thing, left or right. Like, I just don't think that the government knows what the heck's going to happen here, and who knows? But if things keep going the way they are, the prices aren't coming down, especially here in Tampa Bay or in Florida. You might have some issues, like obviously with, people flocking away from, California, with now like in LA, San Francisco, and now New York City too, to get even into anything indoors, you have to have a vax or have the vax. Not everyone likes that, so they're getting the hell out of those cities. So Florida is going to be the hot spot for people moving. It just is. So I do not see prices dropping. So that's the only other argument you can have, is that, yeah, that's true. Prices are astronomical out there, compared to what we're used to.
Right.
But that's the new norm. The new norm is the prices are what they are. Supply and demand economics. It's just 101. So you can't control that.
Yeah. So what would you recommend, Greg? Because these people, like I get some off Zillow, but a lot of them come from, like I say, being a mobile notary. So I do a lot of loan modifications, which is where people are behind on their mortgages by like 15, 20 grand, So a lot of people are struggling. They can't pay their mortgage, and eventually, you might go through foreclosure if they don't catch up. So it's like they're motivated sellers, but I don't know, should I just keep following up with them, I guess? I mean, because you say the market's not dropping no time soon, and that's everyone's, fear.
Yep.
Why they're not selling.
They're going to lose the house, and then they have no equity, and now they're screwed, and then they're going to have to move anyway. So they're going to have to consider renting if they can't afford a house. And that unfortunately means they're probably going to have to rent in an area they may not be wanting to rent in, or they're going to have to move to a different area of town. Like they're going to have to move to Lakeland or Plant City, where the cost of living is much lower. That sucks, because their job might be in St. Pete or Clearwater or whatever, but we can't control that stuff, guys. Like, that's not our job, is to try and control any of that stuff. It's our job is to just educate them on what's happening, what looks like it's going to happen, and help them make the best decision possible for them, right? You can't make that decision for you, but that you can help guide them towards the right path. And that's tough to do as an agent and an investor at once. It's the delicate balance that you guys have to figure out, what you're comfortable doing and what you're comfortable saying, because you can't force their hand, clearly. But if they lose that house, they're going to lose out on the ability to, buy in the future. And it is what it is. Like, I don't know. It's not, there's not an easy answer to this. It's just, you have to just do your best, and follow up is always the name of the game, Ashley. That's with everybody here. Follow up is the name of the game in every aspect of this business, whether it's buyers, sellers, investors. recruiting agents. Some of my best recruitment jobs have been from getting agents on the team. I've been hounding them, I use that loosely, but like following up with them, because most brokerages don't, because they suck at sales. That's why they suck at being an agent, most of them. Because that's what separates most agents from the good from the bad, is that their follow-up game. And again, that's why I harp on you guys to use KV Core, because it freaking has the most massive and most amazing follow-up systems built out for you guys to use them to remember to stay in touch with your clients on top of automatically following up with them.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I think I need to just go ahead and get it.
Everyone
Yeah.
needs to work on that.
Yeah, that's
so
what I
anyway,
lack too.
yeah.
Aren't you
Thanks,
doing the
Greg.
implementation day?
Yeah.
Is it-
So yeah, Ashley, you can always text me about that, but we are
Okay.
having KV Core implementation day on Friday from 10 until 2-ish, 3-ish.
Okay, 10 to 2.
Yep.
Okay. Friday. Okay.
Go as long as we need to, but we also can cut it short if we only have a small amount of you guys that show. I have no idea at this point who, I got like 6 or 7 that said they'd come at this point. That's a pretty small group. We can knock it out in a few hours at that point. We will have a break for lunch, obviously, but yeah, KV Core implementation day is Friday at 10 a.m.
Okay. Thank you,
And
Greg.
it's not just implementation, like I'm going to encourage you guys to use it. We're going to talk about some best practices of KV Core. We're going to talk about best practices of how to follow up properly using KV Core, setting up some smart campaigns, going through some of the templated smart campaigns so you guys can see them and read them and then clone them and then tweak them a little bit. So we're going to go through a lot of best practices, more so than just like last time we did, like we kind of watched the agent success plan videos together, the most important ones. We're actually going to take some of that and do some work, and then it's up to you guys after that to actually take it and do the rest.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good, Greg.
All right, Bryce, what you got?
Gonna have a pretty good close up for October. I got a deal that's closing tomorrow. It was kind of weird because the house didn't need a tenting, but it's one of those, they had it under warranty. So just to kind of sweeten the pot and make the out-of-state buyer feel comfortable, we kind of pushed them to execute the tenting warranty anyways. So it's kind of just makes everyone happy and it doesn't cost anyone $1. So I'm gonna have to kind of check in on this one a month after it's closed and make sure that's done, but it should be closing tomorrow. And that was a $400,000 Seminole Heights.
Okay.
So that's exciting. And then that Chinese drywall I had were finally passed an inspection date, so that was going to make it to the finish line. The listing I had, I did open house with Jonathan. We had a good show out. We ended up going for 15 grand over ask cash. We just got through inspection period. They asked for $1,500 back, which was, I had prepped the seller constantly saying, hey, you need to get in your head, they're going to ask for money. I was telling them like $5 grand, $5 grand, $5 grand. I'm just, kind of give them something to let them know, like the deal is going to change. Like we're not done. And so
anything less than the check is cashed from the title company.
Yeah, I was like, we're not done, man. He was even saying thank you. I was like, hey, I appreciate your enthusiasm, but we are not done. So I was like we're not done. It's one of those that I know it's exciting, but just letting you know, like shit should happen. So we're through inspection period. That's done. And then I got another buyer who's we're just kind of flopping all over the place. I have no idea where that one's gonna go. It's he had wanted to cancel his financing for a third time with like 10 days to close because for some reason he thought it good to hire a lawyer just to kind of oversee the deal. And so I'm just trying my best to combat what the lawyer's saying to do. Like he was saying like, oh, it's no issue, ask for a 35-day extension, 10 days from closing. And I was like, and I should have asked him like, who was this lawyer? And does he do real estate? And he was like, and so I'm kind of trying my best to battle with that, but it is what it is. So I'll update you. It's probably gonna die in the vine, but at this point, I'm just you can't help someone that doesn't want to be helped. He keeps shooting himself in the foot and not giving me any room to maneuver or do what I need to do. So it is what it is.
Lawyers love to just screw everything up to make themselves feel important.
Day one, he shot the deal in the foot. We agreed on the EMD. I had it submitted the title. I did like an intro email. Day one, he goes, hey, we're actually submitting EMD to him to hold the lawyer. And I was like, I'd even do like a kind of like a sidebar. I was like, hey, we already agreed on the EMD going here. Next time you want to chime in, feel free, but look at the contract first. So I was like, we had this said and done, man. But anyways, you know, it's one of those. I am where I am now, so I'll just figure it out. Either gets there or doesn't, so whatever.
Oh boy,
Yeah, and then
never a dull moment.
yeah. So I think it's you know, pretty good month. You know, 3 out of 4 is not bad. And then my wife and I we're looking for. I think I mentioned that we're looking into STRs on the beach. So we've really narrowed it down to Madeira and Reddington. We actually went to John's Pass the other weekend and we saw the house and we walked it from the house to the beach. Really thinking about submitting an offer. The only issue is the house has cloth wiring in the master bathroom. So I've got to figure out insurance of like getting insurance cover that will let me close with that and rehab it 30 days post. And then once I'm there, Daniel of Outback is helping me find insurance that will let me use it as a vacation home and then short-term rental it more than 5 times a year past that. Because I guess most insurance providers, they only cap it at 5. And he said, you know, we could do that. And I was like, no, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do more than that. And I want to do insurance right. If I'm, you know, dumping out 5-6 grand a year, I want to make sure I'm covered. It doesn't make sense to do it. You know, it doesn't make sense to cut corners there, especially on a flood zone and a hurricane zone and with short-term rentals. I was like, I want to be covered. So
Yeah, I understand that.
yeah,
It's tough though, because like your insurance rate's almost double. You go from like regular to real short-term rental.
yeah, it is. And that's kind of the sucky part. But I was just telling myself, you know, if I'm gonna hold this for, you know, hopefully 10, 20 years, I'm gonna get hit with something. And when I do, I don't want to be, you know, caught holding the bag because I wanted to save $1,000, $2,000 here and there. So
Very true.
and he's one of us too. If down the road I end up finding a better insurance, or insurance ends up wiping me out just for making it not fun, you know, I'll figure that out down the road. But as for now, I'd rather just do it the safe way. So
It makes sense. I tend to agree. And that's what it's there for. It's insurance for a rainy day. No, it's just the cost of doing business. You know, it's like
exactly, yeah,
the boxes cost to Amazon. It just is what it is, you know?
Yeah.
So, all right, good stuff, man. Keep up the good
Yeah.
work as always. Caitlin, what you got going on?
So I got a new lead over the weekend.
Where did that lead come from, Miss Caitlin?
Pretty sure she came from YouTube. She said
What?
she was
YouTube
looking-
works for getting leads? Holy shit. Oh my gosh. That's like number 5 or 6 now? 4 or
Something
5?
like that. Yeah. But she's looking in South Shore Bay. I guess she had seen my video about South Shore Bay. They're gonna be moving from Jupiter, Florida. When I say it, everything's like Jupiter, the planet. Just like my head goes in a
Some of these
weird
Americans, you gotta wonder some days, so I don't know.
Right. But so I'm actually chatting with her this afternoon to kind of, see what her timeline and her budget is and all that good stuff. And then I've been doing the rent to own, postings and everything. And I have one gentleman I reached out to yesterday. He's basically all ready. He just has to get a little bit more documentation in, but they said we can go ahead and start home searching. Like he's got his budget for Divvy Homes
Nice.
together. So I'm just waiting on him to let me know what he wants to do, so we can make sure like I'm setting up the search right and, it's getting us to where we need to be for him. And yeah, that's where I'm at with that. My clients still aren't closing till November, the ones that I do have in a contract. From last week, the gentleman that's moving from Missouri, he and I chatted about it. And it sounds like he's just trying to pay off some other stuff from the sale of his house as well. So he's gonna rent for 30 days up there in Missouri and then come down here and really start searching. So once we get like basically his credit stuff paid off and everything, then is when he's gonna go and talk to a mortgage person and kind of go that route. I've still got him on search. He's looking in South Shore Bay as well. And that's what I got going on.
Very cool.
Yep.
I was making a couple of notes here, guys, for a quick little training I wanted to talk to you guys about today. So This is good for you, Stefani. That's pretty much brand new. And all of you guys, as a quick refresher, and this is going to be, I'm going to be hosting an actual training here at the office. It will not be free, but it will be in December 7th on productivity, kind of taking from some of the things that Darren Hardy talks about and insane productivity. And I'm going to be putting it all together for you guys as real estate agents and investors I'm going to call my maximum productivity for real estate professionals. And so one thing, I'm just going to give you a quick little snippet of one of the biggest things that I want you guys to learn from that on that day. It's going to be December 7th here at the office. It's a Tuesday. It's going to be an all-day thing. So we can just knock it all out in one day. So we're not sticking around on a whole weekend and wasting your time. Okay. But the thing I want you guys to understand is that there are really only 3 things that real estate agents and investors should ever be doing. All right. And the first thing is prospecting. Number 1, always be prospecting. You can't be closing if you're not prospecting. So what does prospecting mean? That means negotiating or basically marketing. You're out there, whatever marketing you want to do. Again, Caitlin's crushing with YouTube. You've got direct mail, you've got cold calling, you've got Facebook ads, you've got Instagram ads, you've got organic Facebook, organic, this, you've got your websites, you've got all sorts of different types of marketing. That's prospecting. You got door knocking, you've got all that different stuff is your prospecting. Literally, that is the only thing you should ever be doing until you are able to move on to the next step. All right, so you should literally have your time blocked out every single day for the foreseeable future. If you don't have any deals going on, like every available minute of your day as a real estate agent or as an investor should be focused on prospecting, getting leads into your funnel so that you can then do the next thing, which is pitching the listing / pitching the buyer, like the buyer to work with you. So you're basically pitching yourself. So once you've got leads funneling into your system, whether that's company generated or you're self-generating those leads, the next thing is to pitch them on working with you. If it's a buyer, you're pitching them on the fact that you can help them get financing, you can help them get pre-approved, all that stuff, right? And you can actually help them then find the house, put the house under contract, blah, blah, blah. To seller, obviously, you are pitching the listing, pitching why they should want to work with you, why you can get them the best, the most money, the most exposure, because they obviously saw your advertising. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you saw the advertising it took to get you into my funnel. I'm going to be doing the same thing, but I'm going to be selling your house. I'm going to be marketing the crap out of your house. So I'm going to get that in that way. So that, once you start pitching yourself as the buyer or seller's agent, the only next thing you really are doing is negotiating the contracts. You're negotiating on the behalf of your buyer. You're making the offers. You're negotiating the buyer's offers to the listing agent. If you are the listing agent, you are negotiating and the contracts that are being submitted by the buyer's agents. And at that point, once you've agreed to a contract, you're done. You're done. Other than negotiating the inspections the inspection period request that they come up with, negotiating with the appraiser as to why the appraisal should come in at that price. But all the other stuff is bullshit. Work with someone like her if you're a listing agent on the transaction coordination. Hell, even as a buyer's agent, I think you should be working with the transaction coordinator on that side so that you guys can then go back to focusing on prospecting for more deals to come in your funnel, or going to pitching the other buyers and sellers that are already in your funnel to why they should work with you, and then negotiating more deals. Those are literally the only 3 things on a high level that you guys should be doing. All the other stuff is bull, and y'all know it. You all know it that have done deals. You know it. All the other 100 things that you guys do is a waste of your time, and it distracts you from filling your bucket even filler with more leads and negotiating more deals with sellers and buyers. Am I wrong? No. But because we're all control freaks, we're all mostly type A who do this job or do this profession, we have a very hard time letting go of the little things because it makes us feel very important. Oh, I got to answer that email from the title company. Get the hell out of here. The title company should never have contact with you other than one to show up to get your check. Okay? Seriously. Okay? The appraiser, yes, you should definitely talk to the appraiser. You can send him the the improvement reports, but guess who puts together my improvement reports? Not me. That can be somebody else. It's a templated document that once I have my scope of work pulled apart, because I'm already doing that ahead of time, who also I'm not putting my scope of work together either, but my scope of work just gets copied and pasted into the improvement report along with the before photos, the retail bid that we get for the renovation, and then here, Mr. Appraiser, here's the new comps. Yes, you might have to do the comps part of it, but I don't put together the actual report. Okay, so there's just, I want you guys to really start locking in your brain, because I'm gonna hammer this into your brain for like an hour of all the things that you're gonna get to take off of your plate. But the biggest things, again, prospecting, which is marketing. 2, pitching yourself as the resource for the seller or the buyer, and 3, negotiating the contracts. Those are literally the only 3 things that you guys should be focused on every single day. So if you've got 0 leads, go back to prospecting. If you ever have an empty bucket of leads, it's because you're not focusing on prospecting. You're distracted by something else going on, which is okay. But as long as it's only pitching the listing and negotiating the contracts. So if you ever wonder where your next deal is coming from, it's because you're not focused on marketing. And the thing is that we all get really busy, right? And again, I'm going to hammer this home on December 7th. We're all very busy. So the first thing that we typically stop doing is marketing. Why? I don't know. I am very guilty of that too. But now I have systems and processes and people in place who do the marketing all day, every day without me. I don't do any of it. I have Lovely pulling the list every day. She pulls a new, repulls a new list. She skip traces it. She uploads it into the text blasting and the call, into call tools. And then Melody takes that stuff and she rolls with it all day, every day. That's literally their 2 jobs. And Lovely, there's all my other executive assistant stuff too. But literally the marketing is literally runs on autopilot. The Facebook ads run on autopilot. And so like, I don't even do much of the pitching, the listing. Right now, my prospecting is agents. Now it's working with, all I'm doing is the marketing is on autopilot. I literally prospecting all day, every day for agents. I do my meeting. I pitch them on the 30 minutes of why you should join. And then it's basically negotiating with them on what the next terms are looking to look like. It's the same process for pretty much everything in sales, guys. And everything else is handled by your back office, if you will. So just wanted to put the bug in your ear on that. Those are really the only 3 things that you guys should be doing. Any questions? Nope. Pretty straightforward. So with that being said, focus on the one thing right now that you're slacking in this week. So if you, like for you, Stefani, who doesn't have anything in her pipeline, focus on how you're going to do prospecting. I know we got to bump up your onboarding meetings so that we can get you some stuff going on that side, but you can start doing that without your business cards. You can start posting stuff on Facebook and Instagram, which I think I've already seen you do something on that recently. And so whatever bucket right now, guys, is lacking is what your homework is for this week. And I don't know what that is. I don't know I don't know what your funnels look like. I don't know what your stats are right now off the top of my head. But I know that everybody struggles with the pipeline. So the pipeline is built and managed by my good friend, KB Core. So again, that helps put that prospecting, if you will, on somewhat of autopilot, where pretty much most of your prospecting can be done and your follow-up can be done via the system. So it's not rocket science, guys. You just got to put in the work up front to let it do its job on the back end. So,
Agreed.
Yeah, and we'll hopefully see all of you on Friday here at the office for KB Core Day.
Hey, Greg, before we go, can I ask you one question? Sorry, I'd forgotten to ask this one. So I'm messing with a prop option right now, and I'm going to be calling directly because I'm seeing a whole bunch of listings that died on like the Deere and Reddington I'm looking for at like 2019, 2018. But even from the 3 years, the price spread to what it is now is huge. I was complaining to my wife that I missed one by 1 day because he listed it for 620 And I was gonna call him, and he said he just signed, and he's gonna list it for 750. And I was like, no. But anyways, this exact situation is hitting my head, and I don't know legally what's correct. If I pitch them and said, hey, let's say they got a house worth 700 right now, maybe said, hey, you know, I'll buy it right now for 600, save you the listing fees, save you the issues, whatever. On the contract, hey, let you know I am an agent. If he refuses that purchase to buy and says, hey, but instead, will you list it for me? I feel like I've kind of put myself in a corner because I'm like, well, if we're going to list it, we can list it for 700. But now I look like I'm lying. I couldn't wrap myself around that exact situation of when to pull back.
That's a great question. Yeah, it's a great question. So yeah, you can list it for whatever you want, but what's it gonna sell for? That's one. And two, don't forget, if I do list it for 700, you're gonna pay about 8% in closing costs and commissions to me. So that's gonna come right off the top. So I'm happy to list it for you, but I'm right here. I'm ready to pay cash or, you know, financing and have it done for you at this price. And it's a negotiation part at that point, right? You know, I can't guarantee you're gonna get 700,000, but I'm happy to list it for you. But I think that you're off on your evaluation. You know, and it's kind of like Ashley, you know, you had prepped that seller. I think you ended up canceling with him because he was pissing you off, right? But the thing is like you did a good job of prepping him, saying, hey, look, your price is going to come in right around here. And I do this, I've done this before. Like I go to people and I say, look, I think the best you're going to get on the open market is X. I'm offering you Y because these factors right here, but you're more than welcome to list it. Like we just did this with Suzanne. I was good. I was bad cop. She was good cop. But you guys get to do it yourself. I'm not licensed. I can't do it myself. You can play good cop, bad cop with yourself and with the seller. So good cop over here is, yeah, I could probably get you 700 if everything aligns perfectly, but you're going to pay X, Y, Z in fees and costs and blah, blah, blah. And they're time wise, you know, all that stuff. But over here, I'm willing to pay you 600, 615. Maybe that's your maximum.
Yeah.
No closing costs, no commission, blah, blah, blah. You know, and it's going to take, you know, half the time as listing on the market. Your call, Mr. Seller.
That's essentially what OfferPad started doing
Yeah.
last year. When they finally started taking on just agents that could just take the listing per se, instead of like them buying the house and then doing their renovation or whatever, and then listing it. Like these agents were able to just list it with OfferPad and everything. So they were able to, I guess they changed to where they probably go in with exactly that same model.
They're a brokerage now,
Mhm.
OfferPad.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's the same idea. You don't like my cash price? No problem. Here's the list price, you know?
Yeah.
But you might have to put in $15,000, $20,000 to get that 700,000 or whatever, you know, rehab's going to take, because you know you're going to put money in it. If you're buying it for 600, you're going to put that, you know, $20,000 or so into it. So again, you get to just give them all the facts, and here's the two situations, right? That's all
It just kind of felt like a foot and mouth moment, you know, because right now I'm pitching you like, you know, your house is worth, you know, way lower. And then it's like, I feel like within like, you know, a 30-minute conversation, you'd be reverting and like, oh yeah, this list for hire. And I'm like, it felt kind of weird. It felt kind of
that's the next part.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's the next part. So we typically we make them the cash offer 5 times. Like we hammer the cash offer 5 times. And that they just will not budge on their price, or they just don't really want to do the cash and quick close type situation, then we'll flip it. We kind of steer them. I hate that word, steer. We guide them towards our cash offer 5 times. And if it doesn't go, like that's what we did with Steve. We just hit him 5, like, Steve, I can pay you this. 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 And he was like, no, I just can't go that low. All right, well, let's list it and see what happens. And then he listed it and it sold for $30,000 more than I expected it to ever go for.
Yeah. That was
Sounds
like
like
over the
son of a
weekend after they
bitch.
listed it too.
Yeah, unreal.
I think my mother-in-law cleaning it really helps out.
So yeah, it's like I was at 170. I thought the top end I could sell it for was like 230-ish, 240 maybe. We listed it for 250. It sold for 260.
Nice.
So he's happy to pay his shit. He's going to invest the $50,000 of profit into my fund, which is awesome.
There you go. Pitch him on the back end.
In a back ass way of full circle, but you know, you take care of them, right? You know, it's all about putting their needs first, no matter what. because it's what you guys have to do as a real estate professional. But you give them the options, and it
Yeah.
sometimes works in our favor, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, like, I had one where I bought that house on Flora. She was just so fed up with the agent. I was an expired listing. She was so pissed at her agent that she was like, I don't want to list it ever again, because these people are, they're just idiots. And I was like, oh, I can't disagree with you. I'm just playing the devil's advocate, right? I'm playing the smart ass. Well, but she wanted the cash deal at that point, It fell out of inspection 3 times or 4 times because the agent didn't set that expectation that it needed a new roof. It needed a whole bunch of other little shit that wasn't going to pass inspection. So like they listed it for way too much. It fell out of inspection period several times. She took it off the market, and that's when I had Melody had texted her, and then I just took over from there. It was like right down the street from my house. So like,
Yeah.
it is what it is. But yeah, I literally like, we can still do it, but she's like, nope, don't want to do it. So okay, great. Well, I'll just pay you cash and we'll just move on.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's like I said, that conversation, that gear switch was messing me up. But yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. It's just, hit it. If they don't, switch gears and move on.
Yeah, and it's just really listening and listening for the keys, right? Because like even Suzanne will tell you that like as now she's doing some acquisition stuff for me, like she's literally had to change her mentality because she comes from Century 21. She comes from the big boxes, right? Where it's all about listing. Well, now she's like, oh shit, I can make way more money over here if I'm actually the buyer and giving them what they want. So she's learning how to listen for their cues on do they really want to list it or do they really want that cash?
Yeah.
And it's just a mindset shift on both your side as an agent and also on the investor side.
Another thing you can do if you still don't feel comfortable saying like, oh, well, I can list it for you. Say like, I've got a team member and just refer it out then too. If that really like.
I was thinking about
Yeah.
doing that too, and just kind of be like, because if I'm hitting you for some price that's way lower, and maybe that trust's already been broken. I was thinking that like a final Hail Mary, be like, well, hey, if you don't feel comfortable with me because I just offered you a dirt ball offer, or a dirt low offer, we can, push it off. Because I mean, these houses on the beaches, it's a weird dynamic, but you'll see houses that, go for like $1 million and one right next door is with 500. And just from my point of view, that's comping correct. So it seems the spreads are huge, and I'm just trying to work around that and mentally, kind of see what's there. But yeah, even the referrals on there are huge and the listings there. It's a lot bigger than I thought it would be. So I'm having a lot of fun messing around with it. It seems kind of like a tough market to get because the price ranges are just all over the place, and it's all about, a lot more zoning, a lot more flooding insurance, and but it's a lot of fun though. So yeah, I'll see where it goes.
Well, that's something you could do with your marketing is really kind of like tailor it to where it's like that niche of like homes on the beach.
Yeah.
And then, and then you just have that targeted marketing.
Yeah. It's definitely a drive, but I don't mind driving to the beach for, listings like that. So I was like, yeah, sure, all day.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I'll go buy a Prius in that case and hit that road all day. So, but cool. Yeah, definitely answered my question.
Awesome. All righty. Landscaping is going in.
Yay.
Hey, Greg.
Yeah.
Okay, so how would you go about dealing with sellers that like are completely, well, I just got out of your canceled that, but I guess lost out on 2 listings because the seller wanted to like list, one of them wanted to list like 60,000 over asking price, not asking price, but what the house was worth, and then the other one wanted to do like 100,000, but I wasn't willing to list it at those prices because it makes me look bad, when I'm constantly doing price cuts, and and I just got out of a situation, and he signed the listing agreement at first at 190, which what it was worth, and then turned around and said he wanted to list it at 260. And then with us knowing each other for years, because I was leasing out his property, I did it, and it made me look so bad. And I just don't want to do that anymore. But then I'd be feeling like I'm missing out on listings,
Yep.
So I don't know how to go about it, when they're way overpriced. So
You're making the right decision, in my opinion.
okay.
You have to put, because remember,
Walking away.
putting your brand, your name is your brand, right? You're putting your
Yeah.
brand's reputation on the line every time you guys do a deal, especially on the listing side, because you guys get all the credit for selling the house, even though you guys didn't really sell the house. You know, but like you're putting your brand, your name on the line. And, you know, I would ask those sellers, you know, most agents that are willing to do that for you, all they care about is the extra commission. I care about selling your house and getting you the right price and the right time frame. Because as soon as that house sits on the market and has to have multiple price reductions, price improvements, which is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Great marketing, I guess. So having
Marketing,
price
baby.
improvements, then the buyer's agents know it's a feeding frenzy. They know you overpriced it. They know that you're going to be able to get a discount because they know if they start seeing those price reductions, and now you just killed all credibility. And again, it gave away all your negotiating power. Number 3, it gives away all your negotiating power if you overprice it. So you can tell the seller, look, I understand that you want to sell it for this and someone's telling you you can't. I'm telling you you can't, and here's why. And if you do that, you literally are cutting me out any ability to use my negotiating skills to get you the best deal. If you go up $50,000 or more higher than the average, what's going to sell for, you have zero negotiating power in the deal, period. And that's the end. And if you want to do that, that's fine. You take the risk, Mr. Seller. I'm not willing to take that risk. I want to fight for you to get the best price you have. And it's better to price it at market and let the market go up than it is to have to always come down. My mentor told me that.
That was the point I
My
was about.
first deal ever was don't overprice your houses. Because you can always, it's so important to price it right, because what will happen is if you get the bidding war going,
Mhm.
it will only go up. It's not going to go down.
That was,
Yeah.
yeah, that was the point I was going to make is. like,
Agreed, yeah.
to, you know, show them like, hey, if we price it right, like we might get those overbids to get you to that price. But if we start at that price, then yeah, you lose that negotiation power.
Yeah.
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 And that's the thing too. I literally had like 10 talks with him when he came back and told me, oh, I want to do 260 because people say I'm selling my house for nothing. And I'm like, well, how about this? Let's get an appraisal done. Since you don't want to go with what I'm thinking, what I have rent comps on, and I have told you your house is worth. He didn't want to get an appraisal done. He didn't want to do anything. He didn't want to fix on the house. He didn't want to do anything to bring it up to the value he so quote unquote thought it was worth. And all our offers was coming in at the price I told him that his house was worth, like 190, 195, 188. And I told him the market speaking, but he was just like, well, people telling me I'm selling my house for nothing. So it made me look bad like an agent, you know, even though we had
Well,
8
that's the-
offers on the table.
Who are these people?
Yeah. and-
Who are those
Yeah.
people?
His family,
Well, they don't
his,
have a fucking license. Seriously. I mean, come on. Like what? Because they can see Zillow and they can see Trulia? Come on.
yeah, investors. He said he had his friends and they've been in the game for 20 years and told him he can get way more for his house, but they won't. I told him, well, if he can get that amount, why won't they buy it if we're selling your house for nothing? He said, well, they won't buy it because they got too many projects they're working on. I'm like, oh my
Come
God.
Essentially, that was a lie because they didn't want to buy it at this price.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So he was just, I couldn't do it anymore. So yeah.
Fine. You gotta take,
Yeah.
you gotta know what your time is worth too, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes,
You
Greg.
know?
Yeah, good on you on telling him like, hey, I'm not gonna do this anymore.
Yeah,
It's not worth
seriously,
your
it's
mental
not
health.
worth it. It's
and your
really
security.
not.
Yeah. I lost peace and I lost sleep. I couldn't do
Yeah.
it no more. So yeah, thank you
She
guys.
had to go get like a yoga meditation.
I swear,
membership.
I was like, I'm done with this seller. He can have somebody sell his house or whatever. And he wanted me to do an open house. And that's what really killed it. I only did an open house for an hour. And he told me if I would have stayed 2 or 3 hours, I would have got somebody that would buy it at the price we wanted. I'm like, dude, we already got 8 offers on the table. What am I doing an open house for, you know? But
Right.
so it is what it is.
Yeah, that doesn't even make sense.
My God,
Yeah, I gotta love it. Gotta love it.
fuck real estate.
Get your license. It'll be easy. You'll be making millions of dollars. Just gotta get your real estate license.
Go get your license, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. All right, y'all. Have a
Thanks,
great
Greg.
week. See you
All right.
later.
Yeah.
See ya.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay.